after the 150 was requested on Tuesday, y'all, Wednesday, they requested $5,200. No exaggeration. $5,275 to be exact. Huh?
Now look, imagine booking an Airbnb and deciding you don't even want to stay there anymore. But instead of them letting you cancel and get your money back, they tell you there's no refund. So you end up going on the trip anyway, only for the host to later send you a request for $5,000 and fake damages. Like, how did I go on this trip and end up in some fake damage claim scam through Airbnb? Well, that's exactly what happened in this story, at least according to the guests. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down her claim step by step and really getting into the nitty gritty of what actually happened in this situation. And after going through the details, I don't think the story is one-sided as people were making it seem. So if you're interested in that, keep on watching. Let's get into it.
Story time about my Airbnb host from hell, and I got plenty of receipts. So I'm gonna start this story from the time we checked in, before we checked in, the time we checked in to the time we checked out, and this is currently ongoing. So this story might be a more than one part series because it's still going on. And if you ever been through something like this, tell me what I can do, because it's insane, y'all. It's insane.
So I've never been through anything that she's describing. Every time I've used Airbnb, I've had a really good experience. But I am an Airbnb host, so I know that there is a lot of things that can go wrong when renting an Airbnb. I'm hoping that I can probably lend some type of support to people. So if somebody is using Airbnb and you happen to find yourself in similar issues that she's in, I'm hoping that I'll be able to maybe dissect and figure out exactly what went wrong in this situation so that people can avoid these kind of situations in the future.
First thing first, if you don't know me, I have an older brother who has been deceased for about 3.5 years now, and his birthday was April 25th, right? I had no plans. The week prior, I was planning on getting an Airbnb, but as it got closer, I was just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna do it, right? Okay, boom. Then the day of his birthday actually comes, April 25th, which was a Saturday. So I already had 2 of my nieces at my house. So I was like, you know what? Instead of us being in the house all day doing nothing, I'm just going to book Airbnb. And I didn't even know that you could do this. I didn't know that you can book an Airbnb same day. But I said, we going to try and see.
So first things first, I feel very excited for what she is doing for her family. Like, good job. Kudos to you for trying to put together something for the passing of your brother. That's so admirable, so nice. I already got a red flag though. Same day bookings. Same day bookings can be a problem for the host and the guests. And that's because you're kind of rushing the process. When it comes to Airbnbs or even hotels, you want to make sure that you're a fit for the stay. And if you're kind of rushing the process, sometimes there are things that get overlooked in the process. Not all of these stays have to result in problems, but they do have a tendency to have a high degree of issues. And not just because people are rushing the process. They aren't reading things. They're just picking very quickly, not making sure that the accommodations are going to be exactly what they actually want.
And you know, when you book Airbnb, immediately they write you, they give you the check-in information, they give you the address, all that. All I'm waiting for is the address because I need to know where I'm going, what time I need to get there. Check-in is usually 4 o'clock, so I booked it at about between 10 and 12 o'clock in the morning. That was
typically how the system works is 48 hours prior to check-in, all check-in details are made available to the guests. That means like how to access the home, the address, Wi-Fi, all of that information is automatically made available in the app to the guests 48 hours prior to check-in. And these are things that we have to set up in a system when we first make the listing. The Wi-Fi code is something that comes after, but when you're talking about the address is one of the most important things for an Airbnb listing. It has to be a valid address, and that is what you need to even set up a listing. So you can't set up a listing without an address, which means the guests is always going to have the address once they have a confirmed booking and they are in the clearance to be given that information. So I already see that kind of, again, another red flag, in that she thinks that addresses are made available like immediately. So I already know that she doesn't completely know how Airbnb works, but in this situation, since it was a same day booking, the address would have been made available to her automatically.
It's just perfect timing for me, because once you send me this address, I'm gonna go pick everybody up right now, get everything I need to get before we check in. This is what I have in my mind of what we finna do. It's still early. I'm gonna go pick everybody up. We gonna check in. I'm gonna give y'all time to be in the pool, play all y'all want to. The next morning, play all day. We gonna leave that night. I put Monday as checkout so that they had time to play all that day. You know, instead of having to check out Sunday morning, that was, you know, pointless. But we was not checking out on Monday. Why? Because they have school on Monday. Cool. So
that makes a lot of sense. And kudos for her for doing that automatically and not asking, hey, can I get a late checkout? Because I have that happen all the time, and I'm like, dude, you're going into the next booking day. Like, what do you mean late checkout? That's not a late checkout. You're trying to literally go into another booking day. Like, just book the 2 days and just leave early. Like, no one said that you have to stay at the property exactly to the time that the checkout time is. So I'm glad she has enough know-how to know that that is how you're supposed to book the place, because I can't tell you how many times I get people who do that.
I booked Airbnb. They sent a message. They showed you how to check in, whoop, 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 but there was no address.
I saw in the comments where people were talking about how fast she flashed these things up, and Jesus, like, I'm gonna go back and I'm going to eventually post these actual things so we can like freeze frame on the actual receipts, because sis, why did you post these receipts so quickly? But again, I want to reference back to something I already explained, because she stated that the address was not made available for her, and based on quickly what I've seen her flash, she's flashing the chat. So the chat doesn't contain your check-in details, and what you find your check-in details in the check-in instruction section. So if she's flashing that saying, oh, well, they didn't send me the address, because that's not where the address will be present. Okay, so let me read this. It says, we are delighted to confirm your upcoming reservation with Vaco Stays. We are truly honored to host you and look forward to curating an exceptional experience during your stay. Your comfort and satisfaction are our highest priority. We want to assure you that every detail has been thoroughly prepared in anticipation of your arrival. Should you have any questions or special requests prior to your stay, please do not hesitate to reach out. We are always at your service. At the next step, please send us a complete list of your guest name, any drivers, so that they can access the information required by the resort and guard prior to arrival, even a smooth check-in. Okay, so look like this is a resort, which is something you're going to have to keep in mind, because I see something already possibly being an issue like resort fees or something like that, which is even typical if you're staying at a hotel. So this is an Airbnb, and this is a explanation I want to put out too, so people that understand what Airbnb is. Airbnb is just a platform. There's no such thing as a house that is an Airbnb. No, these are vacation rental properties, and we use the platform Airbnb to connect us with guests to stay. So looks like this is a resort that utilizes Airbnb to book out their resort. It's just another platform, like they would probably use like Expedia or Bookies.com. There's VRBO. There's all these different platforms that you can use to book stays. So it looks like a resort is using that. So keep in mind though, like just like a resort would work, like there might be additional fees for using the amenities, or there might be additional fees for like parking, etc. You're going to have to want to pay attention to that, because just because they're on the platform Airbnb doesn't mean they're not going to have like those additional fees that are not included in the daily rate. And the reason why those fees are often not included in the daily rate is because they are based on other remaining factors. They might not be a per day charge. It might be taxed differently. There can be different itemized things that make it so that these things have to be itemized separately. I get it for you as a guest. It can be oftentimes confusing. As hosts, I would tell you we would love for everything to be all inclusive, but the way the government works, these whatever, sometimes it depends on the county that you're in. All of these factors play a role in how we have to itemize our receipts and our pay structures and things like this. Okay, so let's go to the second message. It says, thank you. We're looking forward to hosting you in your group. It's giving her the check-in instructions, telling her the time was at 4 p.m. Here goes one key thing, and I already knew it. It says the property address will be available in your Airbnb reservation details. So why the heck are you flashing the chat talking about, oh, the address wasn't made available? It's not available in the chat. They're telling you to check the Airbnb reservation details to get the address. And I do see something already important. So they're mentioning resort fees, and they have some house rules here. And I want to talk about house rules because house rules are super important. And I always find this being an issue with people who make same day bookings. They never check the house rules because what they're doing is they're just so excited. They're on a time crunch. They found a place they think is perfect. So they're just like, I need something right now, so let me book it right now. They bypass the fact that Airbnb tells you to make sure you read the house rules. These house rules are more important than the description of the property. And I say this because the house rules can completely make or break whether or not this property is a good fit for you. Because it might have the correct beds, it might have all this stuff, but it could be something in there in the house rules. Like, for example, she has a lot of kids, a lot of people coming, a lot of people. What if there's quiet hours for the property? And the quiet hours, let's say the quiet hours are like 6 p.m. or something like that. I know you want to do some nighttime movies, etc., stuff like that. Y'all will make sure that y'all are going to violate those house rules because y'all just by nature going to be loud. So I can already foresee some of the issues that are coming up. I already know. I'm already knowing what some of the problems are about to be. Let's get into it.
So I'm like, okay, where's the address? I keep scrolling down. They like, basically, in so many words, in order to proceed with the check-in process where you will receive the address, we need an additional $250.
Okay, so let's read what this actually says. Final step is to complete the $250 amenity fee. A request has been sent through Airbnb for your convenience, etc., etc. And remember, I talked about those house rules. Ooh, and I'm seeing something about an HOA fine. So it's in a HOA. Ooh, this is not a good property to pick because resort fees, HOA, it just has a lot of compliance things that makes it tricky to go there. It makes it tricky to host, and it makes it tricky for a guest. Because like this is going to be their first time coming to the property, and there's a lot of rules when it comes to HOAs. So you guys, those who know, you know. But so she's saying that they're holding on to the address. It does say that it's to complete the final steps for your check-in process, and it's probably because they have to pay something. It sounds like an amenity fee, which sounds like they already told her about resort fees and stuff like that, that there are going to be fees associated with this. And I highly doubt that it was not expressed in the house rules. And I know for some people that might be confusing because you're like, oh, I paid my daily rate, which means you got more fees that I have to pay. Come on out. Like, guys, I already kind of explained this. Yes, there are more fees, and yes, we are allowed to charge those additional fees outside of the daily rate. When you pay for the daily rate, it's going to be the daily rate and the cleaning fee. That used to get itemized separately, but now they put it all inclusive there. So whatever. But there are additional fees that can be associated with an Airbnb. That's why you got to read those house rules. I mean, I don't know for sure, but I can see from here, I'm already reading these messages because I see that she asked to cancel at this time because she said she wasn't aware that there was an amenity fee, which I don't know. I haven't seen the house rules, but I would guess that they've been functioning. They have it written. I don't think they tried to like just scam her, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll continue to watch and see if she presents us something that can let us know if she was told prior or not. But I already see another problem. Her asking to cancel, that's going to be an issue because I'm going to tell you honestly, like me as an Airbnb host, if it's the same day as check-in, right? That means I have a short window to be able to rent out this place. I probably already dropped the price down to entice people to get this same day booking. I have less time to find somebody because it's the same day. And then you booked it and you've been holding on to my property for a few hours now. If it's not refundable, I'm going to tell you as a host, I'm not refunding you. Like, you're told up front not to book these, not to rent without reading the house rules. Everything is made up front to you. So if you were so excited and you booked and you didn't actually make sure what it was that you wanted, even when the system tells you it's not refundable, like, I'm not about to refund you. Like, I can't help it. If I refunded everybody that holds up my calendar and does weird things, like, we would be in the negative. I would be out of business already. I can't do that for everybody. I can't make these exceptions because you don't do your own due diligence. I can't think for you. All I can do is provide the information for you and warn you about what you're going to do before you do it. But if you decide to do it, I can't be the one then held responsible for your mess ups. You know what I mean?
Excuse me? Where did that say in your description? Where did it say that in your description? And they like, it says it in our description. So I go back to the description. The description said $150. So y'all just pulled $250 out y'all ass.
All right, so let's go back to reading her receipts. And what I see here, so it's a lot of different possible fees, heater, etc. What I find interesting is this. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of how much it costs, I got a few problems here. One, she's acting like she didn't know that there was no fee, which tells me you didn't read. There's several moments we already caught her not reading the information. As fast as she's flashing these receipts, I'm wondering, is she trying to play us? Because it's clear that you don't read, sis, okay? And I'm wondering if you know you don't read and you know that you're in the wrong in this situation, but you're trying to flash it like you got receipts, like you're telling the truth. But the reality is you're trying to reframe this story so that it makes you look better. Because maybe they did do some mess up stuff at the end of the situation, but right now, sis, you seem to be really in the wrong. So let's read these receipts and say what the fee is. Because I see it's a lot of different type of things. Like, they're charging for, like, it's a $75 per day charge. So $75 times 2, and you rent it for 2 days. That's already letting me. Oh, this is to heat the pool. Okay. So they charge you to heat the pool. You can get charged for renting out the barbecue pit. That makes sense. So look like they have an access to like a Oasis club, which sounds like it says Splash Zone. So I'm guessing it's like a water park type of thing. So it's making sense why she would have wanted to book with them. But one thing, so I'm seeing now where she's saying that it's supposed to be $150. And I'm skeptical because she also too didn't put the whole thing where it says what the Oasis club is. So I can't even tell her exactly how much her fees are. But what I can see is it says starting at $150. It doesn't say all the fees that you would have to pay for the resort is $150. It says starting at $150, which means it can be more than $150. Again, I want to circle back to the main problem I'm having with this. She's acting like she didn't know she was supposed to pay anything. At the bare minimum, you should have known there was an additional $150. And if you actually read this, you should have known it's probably going to be more than $150 because it depends on what you guys want to do. What are all of the amenities you're trying to take advantage of? And she also didn't show where she told them what it was that she wants to do there. So I have no idea, what it is that she additional could be paying for that is going to reach the $150. Just lack of information that we have. But clearly at bare minimum, why are you acting confused that you owe money at all? At the minimum, you owe $150. Like, and how are you trying to cancel?
At this point, I'm just irritated. I'm like, okay, can you just go ahead and cancel the Airbnb? I don't even want it no more. At this point, I'm just aggravated. I don't even want it no more. Can you cancel it and can I just get a refund? And in so many words, they like, you can cancel it, but our refund process is going to process as it says on our thing or whatever. So I go back to that. No refunds. So you basically saying, oh yeah, you can go ahead and cancel, but you ain't getting your money back. So now
I'm gonna make this part short and sweet because I already told y'all I already saw some issues gonna happen. She's gonna try to get that refund. Duh, they're going to charge you for the refund. When you booked it, it wasn't refundable. Like, why would you expect to get a refund? And they answered it like that because you're being weird. Why would you need to ask permission to cancel? You don't need to ask permission to cancel. We all know you're asking permission to cancel because you want to have a refund. So you want to be weird and ask the question weird. So they answered and replied to you in a weird way. Yeah, sure, you can cancel. Because what are you asking me if you could cancel or not? You can cancel anytime you want to cancel. But what you're really asking is, can I cancel and get a free refund? Can I cancel and get my money back? But instead of asking that, you're weird and just ask if you could cancel. So they also filled your weirdness and replied to you in a weird way. I said I was going to make this quick, so I'm going to just wrap it up right there. But you get my point. You being weird, so they being weird.
Talking to my mom, I'm like, Mom, what you think I should do? She like, just go, because why not? Why miss out on what you just paid? I think it was like $500 and some, probably like $550, I don't remember. But she was like, why miss out on the $550? Just pay the $250, whatever. They just was like, basically take it over Airbnb. All right, so now we get Airbnb. I get Airbnb support. I'm chatting it up with Airbnb support. I'm like, hey, they said $250. Their description says $150. Like, help me out. I want a refund. I don't want to go no more. Honestly, I don't. And then when it's like tension between the two, I just feel like it's gonna be a problem. I just really feel like it's gonna be a problem. So I just want to avoid it, get my money back, don't want to go. So Airbnb is kind of pissing me off too, even though they helped, but it was just like y'all was kind of pissing me off too. And it was just like on some, I don't know, I'm gonna let y'all read the messages. Y'all can pause the screen and read the messages. And y'all just feel where I'm coming from. It was like they had to be professional in a way. We gonna be professional about it, but it's still giving, hey bitch, this what's going on, this what and you ain't get no money back, regardless. So I'm like, all right, we just gonna do it. I ain't gonna ruin the kids' weekend. We just gonna go through with it. Airbnb got it to where I just paid the $150 because they agreed that, hey, it does say in their description $150, so we're gonna honor the $150 price. So I paid the $150. Mind you, I am so frustrated because even when I was talking to the Airbnb host, I'm like, it's not allowing me to pay it. Like, every time I try to pay it, it's giving me an error. They don't give a fuck.
So sounds like Airbnb used the same logic I did. Like, at the bare minimum, you owed $150. So just play the $150 and let's go on about our way. She's talking about she can't process the payment. And I already know what happened. I already knows what's happening. I need to look at her quote unquote receipts because we keep catching her in lies. But I already know what happened because guess this happens all the time. They don't listen, and people like her don't listen. So on Airbnb, when a host sends you a request for money, which they mentioned in the first message that there was a $250 request that was sent, that they're trying to collect on. When there is a request already sent, you cannot send money to the host. It's going to send you a message, and it's not necessarily an error message, but it's going to prompt you at the top to tell you, hey, there's already a request sent. So you need to fulfill that first before you can send any more money. Because the idea is, why are y'all sending money back and forth and y'all ain't even finished the prior request for money? You know what I mean? So I already know that's what she does because I have that happen all the time. People just don't read. They don't listen. You tell them. They just do their own thing. I'm trying to send it to you. I told you I already sent you a request. So you just need to go and accept the request I sent you. I didn't tell you to go send me nothing. Those are two different things. And reading is fundamental. I already know that's what she did. Hey, if that's what she does, I need for y'all, we gonna mark it. And I'm gonna come back because I want y'all to hit that like button because I know what I'm talking about. If that's what she did, y'all need to hit that like button.
Take that up with Airbnb. So then when I'm talking to Airbnb and they tell me to make the $150 thing, it's doing the same thing that it was doing with the Airbnb hosts.
Look at here. Hey, I need y'all to hit up the chat, like, comment, say I knew it because exactly what I told y'all. Look, read what it says. Read what this says here. It literally states that you already have an open claim. Please respond to the original claim before opening a new one with them. meaning you can't send money if you already have a request for money in the thing. So what needed to happen is she needed to decline the request that was made originally and then send the with the new 150. What also could happen was the host could have canceled their original request and then sent a new request. Both sides could have handled this, but what it sounds like, I'm gonna be honest with you, it sounds like the hosts were done with her. Sounds like the hosts are completely done. Just go take it up with Airbnb. Go talk to them because we're tired of talking to you. And I'm gonna tell you this, like, as a host, sometimes when you guys are quick to go talk to Airbnb, yeah, that is how I'm gonna handle it at this point. Like, I'm not gonna handle it. You wanted them to handle it. You want them to help you, have them help you. Have them take care of you then. Since you wanted to try to bypass me and think you can bypass my rules, my and my payments and things like that because you think you're all right? Go have them do it for you. See how quickly people respond to you. See how quickly this gets handled. Because I guarantee you, the host would have figured it out quickly, very fast. She's funny. Girl, you a hot mess. Let me just say that. You is a hot ass mess. Because what is going on here?
Not going through, like, it's not working. It's not working. So I'm like, I am having a hard time. With me having this hard time, I'm still frustrated, y'all. I'm like, can I just get a refund? I don't want to go. Can I just get a refund? Like, because as it's not going through, time is just going and going and going. And with me being frustrated, I'm literally sitting in the bed going nowhere because, one, I don't know where I'm going. So it's no point of even leaving. I don't even know if I'm finna go through with this. So I'm literally just sitting in the bed doing nothing. And time is just going. It's getting closer and closer to 4. If y'all send me the information at 4 o'clock and I leave at 4 o'clock, I have to still go do my rounds of going to pick up my nieces and nephews. And we're going to get there late as hell. Okay, fast forward to the payment finally processing. I can't remember if it was like 3 something or 4. But it still was too late because now y'all decide to give me the address. And now I start to go do my rounds of picking everybody up. By the time we got there, it's literally 10 o'clock, 10 p.m. to be exact. Okay, let's talk about my stay. I'm gonna insert some videos of when we first arrived, right? The walls are filthy. It's holes in the wall. Stuff broke. You know how you like put your foot on the trash can to lift it up? That's broke. Like, it's a lot going on in there. So, you know, me as a content creator, I record everything, and I'm so glad that I do. I recorded from the time we walked in. Don't touch nothing. Let me get some videos first around this motherfucker. So I'm recording, y'all. I'm getting everything. Boom. We only got tomorrow. As soon as we got there, you know, of course we finna they just walking around. Everybody want to see what room they in. Whoop de whoop de whoop. And then we went to sleep after that. We only got tomorrow. We checking out tonight. We really only been there 24 hours. Keep that in mind. Okay. Boom. I'm getting all my videos. And then, you know, first thing when you walk in, you worry about the Wi-Fi. I'm trying not to communicate with the Airbnb host because I really just don't want to talk to you no more. I just want to check in, stay, do my little stay and leave. I don't want to conversate with you at all. So we searching all over for the Wi-Fi password. You know, that's the first thing people be wanting. We searching all over for the Wi-Fi password. I'm going to the first message that they sent me looking for the Wi-Fi code. There's nothing. You were so worried about them 250. You ain't even send everything that I'm going to need for my stay. So, of course, I had to write, hey, can you send the Wi-Fi information? They send the Wi-Fi information. All right, cool. Now we in. I'm going to be right back, y'all. Hold on.
So, I don't know if I said this already, but I'm going to say it now. She's stupid. Why do you keep checking the chat for information? I know for a guest that might make sense, but it don't make no sense to me. If you know there's a section on the Airbnb app that has all your check-in details, all your info. Why are you not checking that section? And it's the thing. If you booked an Airbnb, you know it says trips, like upcoming trips, and you click on it. Unless you know all the information about your stay, the chat is simply just so you can talk to the host. That is what the chat is for. Yes, can the host send you the information via the chat? Sure. But I'm going to tell you this. The reason why we don't, because y'all don't read. She's a prime example of this. She couldn't even read the thing to see where the address was. She skimmed through it, and I'm pretty sure that's what she's doing. She skimmed through it looking to see if something stands out. She's not even reading for comprehension, because if she did, she would know she should be checking the check-in details. And this Wi-Fi code is another example of that, because the Wi-Fi code is, again, in the check-in details that is in the Airbnb app that says under trips or upcoming trips. For her, since it's a current trip, it's going to just say trips. She just needs to click on that. It's going to tell you everything. It's going to tell you about the host. It's going to give you the address. It's going to give you even, like, for example, my property is kind of confusing because it's a multifamily property. It's 3 units on one property. So that can be confusing, especially when I rent out the units separately. So say, for example, somebody needs to go to unit 3. Unit 3 is in the back of the property. So they need to know that how to get past the first gate, how to get past the second gate, and what direction to actually walk to get to their door. I give step-by-step picture instructions. Like, literally, you can be an idiot. You don't even have to know how to read. You can literally just look at the pictures. But people will still ask me questions. This is how I always know when people aren't reading the thing. And I'll tell them, like, hey, make sure that you are reading before you come, because you might go to the wrong unit. Can't tell you how many times I've had people go to unit 1 who have either unit 2 or unit 3 rented. Like, it's not that hard, but this is constantly what happens, because guests never think it's them. It's always somebody else. It's never them.
Part 2 about my Airbnb host from hell. In the last video, I believe I talked about the frustration with me getting the address, and then me finally getting the address and us arriving. When we arrived, our groceries was on the porch already, because I did a Walmart order before we got there, because clearly they had fucked up my whole day. I couldn't stop and do nothing really. We got there, I unloaded the groceries, and I had ordered pizza for all of us to eat. We got there. Mind you, I got footage of everything. We arrived, we unload the groceries, we eat the pizza. Everybody go choose a room. You know, we checking out the house. Everybody go choose which room I'm gonna be staying in, what all they got in here. Since we only gonna have pool time in the morning and all of tomorrow, which is Sunday, we was blowing up like the floaties, because I had got floaties for them to be in the pool. Keep in mind that $250 that they was requesting, I was like, what is the $250 for? And they're like amenity. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. So I'm like, what is that? I guess it's a resort. Not a resort, it's a water thing on the property, so they want you to pay that extra.
So remember in the beginning where I mentioned how at the bottom of the section where it had the house rules, it said Club Oasis, which I told y'all how she didn't show that bottom part. I'm pretty sure they charged for the Club Oasis. So that might have been the additional fee, part of the additional fees. That's why I said, like, we can't really say how much the fees should have cost for her in this situation, because she didn't give us all the information. But clearly, it sounds like that Oasis Club, there's a fee, a resort fee. And that's probably where we would have figured out she actually did owe $250. And that's probably why she cut the price part of the Oasis Club off. But clearly, she went there. So, yeah.
But since we only had one full day, we didn't even plan on leaving the Airbnb. That's the whole point of me booking the Airbnb with a pool, so that we didn't have to, you get what I'm saying? But now, since I'm finna pay these damn $150 that I had to pay, now y'all finna go use up everything. I don't care how much time we got. We finna go there. We finna do everything they got over here. Now we finna do all that. I got up early in the morning, y'all. Early in the morning, so that they had time to do everything, because we were checking out tonight. We literally only spent 24 hours there. We came in at 10 and we left at 10 the next day. No lies. We literally left same time the next day. I didn't even realize we did, but we did. And it's so funny, because now that I'm telling this story, I went back to the listing, right? And I scrolled back through their description, and now they want to add that the mandatory fee is between $150 and $250. So it was like, where did you pull $250 from? How do you decide how much I'm gonna charge somebody? Is it based on how they look? I'm confused. How do you decide, oh, I put $150, but I'm gonna charge her $250, you know? And then, you know, I was kind of, when I first booked it and they did all that, I was like, okay, maybe they charge $150 per day. No, that didn't even make no sense. So I'm like, where did this, okay, yeah, that's just what I was thinking, you know? And now y'all want to update it to that. And I think they updated it to that because of what we're going through currently.
We don't have to think, did they update it to that because of your situation? We know it got updated because of your situation. So maybe the max is a $250 charge, but it seems like they want to have a range there just in case they get somebody who's like you and acting like they just don't know, so that it has a price listed that is more than $150. So now it can be like, oh, well, you know for a fact it should be $250. But the only thing I have to say about that is that it's just phrased in a way that is wrong and could get you in trouble. I would say that the host was actually correct when they said that it could be an additional charge of $150. I think what they need to do is just put a range. I like how they put a range already, but they need to like change the phrasing. You can't say it starts at and then have a range. You can't have a start at range. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't grammatically make sense, but I get what they're trying to do.
Anyways, let me finish this story, y'all, so I can ask y'all honest opinions. Am I tripping? Now let's talk about our basically only day there, April 26th, a Sunday. We woke up around like 9:57 in the morning, probably like 9:30, I believe. But all the boys slept in the movie room. All the boys slept in the movie room because they was watching the projector to go to sleep. None of the boys' rooms had TVs. All the girls' rooms had TVs. The boys slept in the movie room. My niece, my daughter, and my daughter's friend slept in one room, and then my cousin and my niece slept in one room, and then the room that I slept in was downstairs. That was 9:57. Everybody again woke up around 10 o'clock. We all downstairs. We eating breakfast. We eating a little cereal. You know, we got a little cereal going on. Everybody putting some on their stomach before they get in the pool. Around 10, everybody's in the pool. They just playing in the pool all the way up until 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock is when an adult took them to the water park. My nephew and my son got left at the house because the car that they went to the water park in was too packed. So I have timestamps at 12 o'clock where I took them to the water park as well to meet up with everybody else. Cool. They was at the water park for a few hours, actually. I say they came back around 5 o'clock, and then my sister started cooking. And we needed her to hurry up and cook because I had to go take everybody back home. Mind you, everybody lives in different areas of the world. So I had to do a lot of drop-offs. So I'm like, hurry up and cook because they all got school tomorrow and I have to do all these drop-offs and still get my kids home in time to be asleep. We need to be out of here by 10 o'clock. So mind you, we got to clean up all that. So my sister cooked. I do my little cousin hair while my sister is cooking. That was around 5:52, almost 6 o'clock. We sang happy birthday to my brother around 8:54. It's time to go now. We did a little bit of karaoke in the projector room again right before we left, y'all. Right before we left, everybody went inside of the movie room and we was doing karaoke. We played a song and everybody said it out loud. So mind you, that's footage of the projector being played right before we left. At 10:03, my sister agreed to take some of the kids home. Probably like 4 or 5 of them left with my sister. My sister left at exactly 10:04. At 10:09, I'm going around recording everywhere that we were. I had got this little piece where we had got cake on the bed, where my baby had cake on his hand. He got cake on the bed. I'm recording anything that they might try to say it was a damage. Anything. I'm showing that everything was there, y'all. These big ass roaches, all kind of Another thing, I don't know what time while in the process of cleaning, we had a lot of trash. I'm like, what? Where should we put the trash? I went back through our messages meet with the Airbnb host to see if they said, hey, put the trash here. You know, like telling you what to do at checkout. I ain't see nothing.
Let me repeat this again. You the problem. Why did I remember that there was a section stated to you about what to do with the trash? Because remember, you guys, I was talking about the HOA fees, right? There's a portion in the very beginning, and one of the first messages that was sent, where it states an important notice in regards to the trash. It says, please place all trash in bags and dispose of it in the outdoor bin. Trash not properly bagged may result in a HOA fine. I literally talked about this. Why do I remember and you not remember any of the things about your stay? And then you said you went back to go read it and it wasn't there when it's there. What do you mean it's not there? It's literally written there for you. What's going on? I told you, she's the problem.
So I just put the trash right by the front door and I took a picture of it to send to them and be like, hey, I didn't know where to put the trash. This is where I put the trash. We left completely, everybody inside of the car, 10:23 p.m. We are gone. The next morning, I woke up and I clicked on the Airbnb app and I got a message from the people basically saying like where to put the trash and stuff now. And I just responded and was like, hey, I didn't see this yesterday while I was cleaning up, so this is where I put the trash at. Y'all, I swear to God, the next day, they requested $150. They're requesting $150 from me. They is trying to do that because they're mad that they didn't get that extra $100 that they requested with them $250. They mad by that.
Are they mad about that? Or did you not put the trash where it's supposed to be and you might accrue an HOA fee? I don't know yet what the $150 is, but even if you paid $150 and they were asking you for $250, where would the $150 be the remainder for the $250? No, they would have charged you $100 if they were trying to get the $250. Maybe you pay $150 because you stayed at a place that has HOA rules and you decided not to follow them, so you got charged a fine. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe they're not upset. I don't know.
Okay, y'all can pause and read this if y'all want to, but I'm gonna read a little bit of it. Checkout was Monday. Tuesday, they wrote and said, we hope you're doing well and made it home safely. During our post-checkout inspection, our cleaning team brought to our attention that the built-in projector is no longer functioning, along with damages to several linens, including towels and comforters. Based on their report, we are proceeding with submitting a request through Airbnb. You will receive a notification through Airbnb, basically just saying like, this is what's finna happen. Requesting $150. I'm like, I'm a bit confused by this claim regarding the projector, as it was only used shortly before our departure to play music while we cleaned up. I said, and it was functioning properly at that time, right before we left, properly. I'm gonna insert videos again so that y'all can see the projector was working absolutely fine. There was nothing in there that could have caused the projector to break. I am confused. Okay.
She was funny. So she said that the projector was only used to play music after they cleaned up, but you also told us that you used it to watch movies, that the kids slept in that room. Y'all were using this projector. What was wrong with the projector? We don't know. But I do find it interesting that when you were cleaning up, you only used it to play music. Was the projector not showing a screen at that time? So the only thing you could really use it for was to play the sound because the video was no longer showing. Because I want to make it a point here too. She has given us inaccurate information throughout this whole story, right? And now we're supposed to believe because you showed us a video at one point of the projector working, which I'm sure it sounds like when you entered into the place, the projector was working, but somehow during your stay, the projector stopped working. The host has no idea that you actually used said projector. If you think they remember the exact positioning of the projector to know if you used it or not, I doubt that. I highly doubt that. But they are going to know if that projector stopped working and was no longer working after your stay. That's probably the most expensive thing they have at that property. That's probably one of their main money makers. That's like a property having a jacuzzi, and the jacuzzi stopped working, and then you want to convince the host that they don't know that it stopped working with you. So it sounds like that $150, I'm sure the projector, whatever was wrong with the projector, is not going to be $150. It sounds like they just put $150 because when we make a claim, we have to put something in the boxes, but it's always pending until we actually submit all the receipts and everything at the end of the day. You know what I mean? So for right now, it's $150, but let's see what ends up happening at the end.
Okay, so I said before leaving, we also recorded video of every room. I don't think they thought I had video. Every room, including the linens, to document the condition of the property. And there was no damage to the projector or linens during our stay. The only thing visible in our recordings is minor cake icing on a comforter, which I showed y'all, which is typically and should be removable with standard laundering between guests. Excuse me? Towels were used only after pool use and nothing beyond normal use. What? Huh? Y'all. And I let them know everything was documented from the time we entered to the time that we left. Okay, so now I'm confused. Now we with Airbnb now with the $150. Now I'm trying to figure out why are you $150 for what project? Huh? So after the $150 was requested on Tuesday, y'all, Wednesday they requested $5,200. No exaggeration. $5,275 to be exact. They're saying this was from the for the replacement of the projector. They talk about they had to take it out the wall, put it back. I'm talking about they was acting like it was complete damage to this projector. And they also included photos showing proof that their projector was broken, right? This is the part that I really want y'all to pay attention to. Please pay attention. I'm gonna leave it on the screen for a little minute. I'm gonna show y'all the pictures that they submitted for this projector, y'all. The projector looked like it got glass on it. Y'all, I promise you, when I ran back my videos shows that that is not the same house that we were in. So it's like you're trying to get money out of. I'm like, where did this come from? Like, when I submitted my video showing proof that this can't be the same property, we need a better picture of the projector. If this projector was broken and it was in the house that we were in, you would have showed the full room.
So I'm just going to point out a logic flaw here. Saying what somebody would have did, you have no idea. You have no idea what somebody would have did. What you're saying is what you probably would have did. This idea that you can dispute a claim by saying the pictures are not good enough for me, that's not a realistic dispute. And if we're talking about a projector being broken, I'm going to take a photo of the damage to the projector. I'm not going to take a photo of the whole room, because my claim is not for the room, the space. The claim is for the broken projector. So I'm going to show you the damage to the projector. This idea that, oh, well, it was working before we left. Was it? You showing me that it was working at some time during your stay doesn't tell me that it was still working when you checked out. And I get that, because that's a hard thing for you as a guest to actually prove. But I'm going to tell you this. If they said that it cost like $5,000 for this projector, and that they had to take it out the wall and take it back, it sounds like this. It sounds like the projector was completely broken in regards to maybe displaying the screen. I can believe her that she probably was playing just music, but again, I find that odd. So you was just playing music, but you was no longer using it for the kids to watch movies. But it sounds like the whole time the kids have been watching movies on this projector, but now all of a sudden it can only be used for playing music. So you were playing music on the projector, and that would tell me that it might be something wrong with the visual, which if the screen is cracked on it, yeah, that would cause visual mess up, right? And that would cause you to have to replace the whole projector. So you would have to take it out and then reinstall it. Literally, when you break down the things that she's saying and you like ignore her own context of how she's trying to interpret the information to us, it actually points to the fact that you probably did break this projector. How you broke the screen to the projector, I don't know. It sounds like you had a whole bunch of kids around. Could they hit it with a ball? Could somebody had fell into it? I don't really know where the projector is posted, but this idea that, oh, it's in a different room. They never actually showed a picture of the projector hanging on the wall in their claim. So I don't know. Maybe they're showing the projector after they took it out of the wall, but I see no reason why they would break the projector just to charge you for it. And I'm going to say this because a claim for Airbnb, we don't always get the money, and we don't always get the full price of what the item is. We're going to get a depreciated value, which means we're coming out of pocket for an additional one, right? So why in the world would they break the projector to then have to pay money out of pocket? Because that's ultimately what's going to happen here. They're ultimately going to have to come and pay and cover a portion of the projector, because we only get the depreciated value. So that actually doesn't even make sense. The only thing that would make sense is if the projector was completely not broken at all, but we have proof of a broken projector. Unless they broke this projector a long time ago and they're recycling photos, I mean, I guess technically speaking that could be something that happened, but I just, based on the story she gave and based on all this information that she's misrepresented to us, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I don't believe her. I believe she broke that projector and she just doesn't want to pay for it. I mean, she didn't even want to pay the $250. She didn't even want to pay the $150, and she should have known that the $150 existed. So I don't think she wanted to pay anything extra. I think she wanted to pay what she thought she was going to pay, go on this trip, and that's all she wanted to come out of pocket for. And this trip started costing a lot more than what she originally bargained for. But this sounds like her own fault.
So when I submitted my photos, I submitted them and I said, first, I have clear photo and video evidence of the entire property taken both during my stay and immediately before checkout. These recordings show that no damage was caused by me or anyone in my group. The images submitted by the host do not match the property I stay in specifically. The projector shown in their claim is different from the one in the home I occupied. The projector in our unit did not extend to the wall as shown in their photos. One of the images appears to show a shattered item, possibly a mirror, that was not present in the home at any point during our stay. I'm also going to insert videos, or y'all can go back to the videos that I recorded of each room. Whatever they're showing was nowhere in that house. Nowhere in that house, y'all. I have video evidence of it being used to play music while we were cleaning up shortly before checkout at approximately 9:47 p.m. on April 26th. That picture that they showed of damage being done to a projector that don't even look like a projector, it looked like a mirror, it looked like a ball, a bat, something had to get swung at that. There was no balls, no nothing in there that could have been thrown at that to break like that. I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And honestly, I think they either trying to scam and get some money out of Airbnb because it ain't gonna be me, or this was really the R word situation. Y'all tell me what I could do. Part have video evidence of it being used to play music while we were cleaning up shortly before checkout at approximately 9:47 p.m. on April 26th. That picture that they showed of damage being done to a projector that don't even look like a projector, it looked like a mirror, it looked like a ball, a bat, something had to get swung at that. There was no balls, no nothing in there that could have been thrown at that to break like that. I really don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And honestly, I think they either trying to scam and get some money out of Airbnb because it ain't gonna be me, or this was really the R word situation. Y'all tell me what I could do.
No. Let's not do that. Let's not try to bring racism in here, because as somebody who loves to call racism, I do not think this is a racist situation. I do think it was a situation where we have a guest who is upset at the host. I don't know if it's reciprocated on the host's end. I can't really tell you because we're not hearing from the host, and the only messages we're actually seeing is the messages she sent. But in none of these messages am I getting the idea that the host is even upset at her. All the frustration and things seems to be coming from things that she's creating in her head, because she thinks that the process should work a certain kind of way, and she's not even paying attention to what the host is telling her and trying to function from that point of view. So, but let's say if the host is upset and this is a scam situation, because I, at the beginning of this, wanted to make sure that I offer some form of information that can help you as guests if you enter or happen to find yourself in some type of situation where there are damages that a host is claiming that you honestly feel like you did not do. There are ways, like, just because a claim is submitted does not mean that you as the guest have to pay it. When we submit a claim, there is a thing called AirCover. AirCover covers or protects the host and the guest, right? It is something that Airbnb guarantees to us, because they understand that when you stay at properties or you stay anywhere, something might happen and you can honestly think you didn't do it, but you could have did it, right? Like, I've heard of situations where plates end up broken or a vase end up broken and the guest really thinks they didn't do it. But as a host, I know what my house looked like. Like, you're not about to convince me that I had something here that is now all of a sudden missing and you didn't do it. Like, so I want you to know that if you do fall in victim to a situation like that where you honestly didn't do it or you feel like you didn't, just let Airbnb know that you don't accept responsibility for these damages, and Airbnb will make a decision on what to do. They can waive it and just say forget about the issue and just use AirCover to back it up, or they could still hold you accountable for it and you just won't be able to rent again on the platform, right? But the thing is, when we file these AirCover claims, they're always going to bring it to you first as the guest, because the insurance company don't want to pay. It's just like any other insurance company. They're going to figure out, can I pass the buck to somebody else before I assume responsibility for this? So you're going to be the first person that they ask to see, are you going to accept responsibility for these damages so that they don't have to pay? That, I mean, if you think from an insurance point of view, that makes perfect sense, because why would you just assume responsibility if you don't have to? So it's practice for them to always send a message to the guests letting them know about the damages and seeing if they're going to assume responsibility for it or not. If they don't assume as responsibility, I told you about the 2 options that they're going to do. And you know, wherever the cards lay, that's where the cards lay, and that's where you go from there, right? I want to thank you, everybody who's stayed tuned. This is one of the longest videos I had ever did. But I've been really enjoying doing this commentary and breaking down this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like the video and hype it up. Make sure that you let the algorithm know that you like what I'm putting down. You like how I'm delivering this content to you. You like my commentary and my wisdom from working and hospitality, working with Airbnb, so that I can give you guys some insiders. And if you guys have any videos or anything like that that you would like to share with me, that you would like for my commentary and my perspective and opinion on the situation, you know, you can hit us up on Instagram. I'm going to put that information here so that you know where to find us. And with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, you'll most certainly enjoy this one. And until next time, stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay black. This is Jade, and you're watching Get Into the Black. Bye-bye.